Hi everyone, this is Mr. Kong. This is the chemistry revision series. Today we will learn about electrolysis. Now, this is an overview for today's session. We will look at some of the key features in electrolysis, followed by the main processes that take place in electrolysis. Now, we will also look at two kinds of cells, the electrolytic cell and the simple cell, and we will look at some steps to help us to identify the cathode, anode, and the electron flow. Now, first of all, this is a very typical setup for electrolysis. I'm sure you have seen this diagram many, many times, and I hope that you can recognize the various features that are shown here in this diagram, as well as the ions that are present in the electrolyte. Now, there are two of these electrodes, the cathode and the anode, and these electrodes definitely must be able to conduct electricity. You have also encountered some materials that are used for these electrodes, such as graphite, platinum, and other kinds of metals. The battery is the source of energy in this whole electrolytic cell. And one of the other features is the electrolyte, which is typically either a molten ionic compound or an aqueous solution. Now, to add on, for these electrodes, they conduct electricity due to the delocalized electrons. And for the electrolyte, the way they conduct electricity is quite different. It is due to the mobile ions. Now we cover the main processes in electrolysis. There are two main processes, namely reduction as well as oxidation. Now, reduction always occurs at the cathode, and I've taught you this short form red cat before to remember what process takes place at the cathode and the anode. And this means that oxidation takes place at the anode, and remember anodes. Now, inert cations, for inert electrodes, cations will get discharged, whereas for inert electrodes, the anions will get discharged. Now, this is still quite straightforward, but when we look at reactive electrodes, the cations still get discharged, whereas for the reactive electrodes, the electrode itself is oxidized. Now, the two kinds of cells, electrolytic cell and the simple cell. In an electrolytic cell, electrical energy is converted to chemical energy, whereas for your simple cell, which is otherwise like a battery, it converts chemical energy to electrical energy. They are really like opposites of each other. And in your electrolytic cell, the battery is the one that provides the energy for the redox processes, whereas in a simple cell, the redox processes is the very thing that will generate the electrical energy. Now, I'm going to share with you 5 steps to help us to identify the cathode, the anode, and the electron flow. Now, step 1, 2, and 3 are shown on this slide. You can pause the video and look through them yourself. Now, the next slide will show step 4 and step 5. And I'm going to run through one example to help us to try this out together. This is a very typical diagram. And step 1, we have to look at the negative terminal of the battery, and that's where the electrons flow. And at the first electrode, remember that the cations will be attracted to the electrons, and therefore this particular electrode is the cathode. Now, this means that the other one is the anode, and that anode will be attracting all the anions. And finally, step 5 is to complete the electron flow in this circuit, and this is your whole electrolytic cell. And we have come to the end of this first part of electrolysis. This is a recap, and I hope you enjoyed yourself today. Bye bye.